everyone, this is Eileen from Eileen Stuffs, and today we are about to budget with my September 15th paycheck. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I am a cash budgeter and stuffer here on YouTube, and I am working on paying off debt, as well as building up an emergency and sinking fund. So if that is something that you're interested in and you haven't already, please consider subscribing below. My September 15th paycheck is officially the biggest paycheck that I have ever received in my entire life. I almost can't believe it's one paycheck, and I'm actually almost overwhelmed by it, but we'll get into it. It is, like I said, pretty big, and we will be able to build up some emergency fund with this paycheck today. Just gonna feel really good, but let's get into it, and I'll talk more about that as we go along. I have my numbers written out here, but let's open up our book. Things have changed so much for me that I think I'm still kind of in shock mode a little about how much things have changed in my life. And also, this paycheck is a very strict reminder to me that I just need to redo the way that I'm doing my finances as far as how I'm focusing my money. But let's get into it. So this is for September 15th, and I'm back to just one pay now. This is only my new job moving forward. My paycheck was $4,636.25. I was blown away when I saw that I made a check pretty close to $5,000. So that is what we have to work with. In addition, I do have rollover. Now, I left a big rollover amount in my checking account, but I do still have $118.17. So we have that as well. Let me start with this. So $4,636.25. I did figure out 30% tax off of that, which is actually $1,390. I am going to take this out. This is for 2023 taxes. I'm going to take out the 30%, $1,390. So we don't need this anymore. It kind of hurts to take out this much. It's almost painful to see that much of your paycheck taken out. But I was, again, just kind of going back to what I said, I have to redo my finances. I'm a little scared of what my taxes are going to be this year. So the only thing I can think of for the rest of this year is just keep throwing 30% because I'll be thankful I did when tax time comes. We got $1,390. So after we pay taxes, that leaves us with $3,246.25. Plus I have the $118.17 in rollover. So we're going to add that back in. That gives us a total budget of $3,364.42 to work with. So we are about to bring this down to a zero budget, and this is where I can see my own failings. I need to reboot what I'm doing with just everything, debt payoff, emergency fund. I was feeling so overwhelmed. I think what I've decided to do is go back to the basics, which is going to be step one, rebuild my emergency fund. I think I should be able to throw a chunk in today for that purpose. So let's go ahead and just minus out the things we have to pay first and see what we're left with. My car is, as usual, $475. That brings me down to $288,942. So this is my Snowball credit card. It actually has a zero balance right now, but I decided just to throw a $70 Snowball payment on there. It's $281,942, and then I have my credit card. So they're pretty much the same they usually are every month. I'm having a hard time seeing. I'm gonna lift my calculator up. Let's go ahead and minus out the credits. 65, one for 40. I have 89. This one's 115. And then we have the two bigger ones, 146. Man, if I didn't have these. And then the big monster one, which actually went down a couple. Did it go down a couple dollars? $265.53. After I pay my credit card bills and my car payment, I am left with $2,098.89. I have my Navient student loan. Easy pays of $51.55. So that brings me down to $1,996.73. Medical bill I've been paying on, I believe this is actually the last month. So this should be the last time we have to pay the $61.30, and that will bring me down to $1,935.43. We have the internet's coming out, so that's $1,890.43. And then my gas is a little under a half a tank. So I'm going to minus out 50 just in case I need it before the first comes around again. So that's 1,840.43. All right. Paid taxes, paid all my bills, and I'm still at $1,840.43. Now this is a one-time line. OT needs. My license is due. I have to renew my license by October 1st. I still have like 4 continuing ed credits I need to take. So this weekend I'm going to sit down and do that, and the website I use is like $99 to sign up for a year. I'm gonna have to do it now to finish those, but then it'll also cover next year's CEUs. I can bust out next year's as well. Between the two, 86 something and then the 99, I just rounded it up to 200. So we're gonna take that out. After I do that, that brings me down to, this number was actually the total bills I had, so let's not confuse that. I confused myself there. But after I take out the 200 from my OT needs, which I'll move back to my business account, that leaves me with a balance of $1,640.43. We still have to budget. I should have put this down here. Okay, so this is where I'm feeling like, okay, whoa. I have way more money than usual. I feel like if I made the right choices, I can do something really good. If I make the wrong choices, I could flounder this opportunity I have with this paycheck. So this is where I'm like, what do I do? I have $350 sitting in my emergency fund. My first thought was to take out $1,000 for a rent fund, which would leave me $640. But then I thought, what might be nice for me moving forward is, since my rent is $1,700, if my paychecks are going to be like, I don't think all my paychecks will be like this. My paychecks, I should be looking at paychecks within the $3,000 to $4,000 range on a regular basis. I think at this point, checks that are in the $3,000 range are going to be on the low end for me, and checks like this would be on the high, like best end for me. That's kind of just my new reality. So I'm thinking something I'd like to get in the habit of is taking the $1,700, instead of having to pull it from the one paycheck, maybe trying to split it between both paychecks. And then I can pay it all with my first paycheck. Then that, what I pull from the 15th can just carry over for the next month. This is kind of the thing I have going in my head. So that being said, $1,700, I believe, would be $850. I think I'm going to take out $850 to put in my checking account, savings account for rent for October 1st to help pay for rent. And again, if I don't need it, my first paycheck's big enough and I don't need it, I'll just keep that in there, or possibly move it to a high yield account at this point. So if I take out $850 for my rent fund for October, so I'm basically, paying it forward here with rent. That leaves me with $790.43. Like I said, I felt overwhelmed. I feel like I could pretty much pay off a credit card right now, but maybe I should go back to the basics and set up an emergency fund again, so I have that emergency fund. And I am making a snowball payment, so, it's not like the whole credit card, but it is something. I think I'm thinking $200 towards my emergency fund, which I can put my emergency fund that's in my high yield savings account right now. So let's do that. Let's rebuild that first. I think, like I said, first things first, focus on the emergency fund and then reboot the whole debt payoff. Once I get my bearings a little, because right now I'm still trying to reorganize my house, and I guess just give myself like a mental break a little, of like giving myself some time to adjust to all the changes. I have to be honest, is kind of leaving me wanting to sleep more and just kind of settle with things. So, that's okay. It's been really hard to focus on my debt and redoing my debt, I think, is the point of that story. And I'm just trying to be like gentle with myself because I keep telling myself I've had major changes in a short period of time. I think focusing on the emergency fund is what feels really good right now. That still leaves me with $590.43 though. Let's just take out that odd $190.43 as miscellaneous in my checking account. That actually leaves me with $400 of cash. And again, this is where well, it's okay. It's going to go towards my emergency funds anyway. So, all right, let me go ahead and fill out my wallet and my sinking funds. We are going to work with 400 and I will be right back. All right, I am back. And I'm just going to star the most important ones, which are bills, family, and car. I forgot that I had some things that I was purchasing. I have some things on Amazon that I wanted for my house that I could probably hold off on, but I think it's coming out to $86. I was realizing that, oh yeah, I had that I was going to buy. So let me just put Amazon order. I always forget something. So $86, which comes out to $314. Like one thing's a kitchen knife. One thing was like an organizer calendar. You know, it's not like big things. Something else I needed for the home. You know, I'd rather budget it instead of pulling it from this 190, which is what I would have done if I forgot about it. Now that brings us down to 314. I think that again, now that things have settled, I'm able to reboot my own habits as far as eating at home, making meals. I stay home longer than I was before, which means I can basically eat breakfast and lunch at home before I head to work, and then I just have snacks to carry me. And that is all to say, I had a point where I was doing 200. I don't think I even need to do 200, and I don't foresee going out too much for food like I was, kind of just because of the way life was for me before. Life has changed dramatically for me, which means that I can make better choices now. So what do I want to do for food? Guess I'll do 180 just to see how that goes with, like, you know, with the new changes. Do I even need that much? So that leaves me with 134. I need light bulbs, but that can come out of there. So do I even need anything personal for the next couple weeks? I don't think so. I'll do my usual 20 for miscellaneous. So that leaves me with 114. I think I'll go back to my regular 20 for bills, which gives me 94. I just paid for my medicine, but yeah, we got to build back up again. So I'll do 15. It leaves me with 79. I think I'll just take that 9 out and put it towards savings since it's an oddball number, and go down to 70. I'm going to skip shopping and giving. I'll give Riley 10, which is 60. Oh, I'm like leaving what I wanted. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, I'm like, why is this going down so much? But I think it's because of the extra 200 from my license and then the big chunk of money. I guess I took out $1,050 for basically an emergency fund, right? So $850 for a rent fund and $200 for an emergency fund. So I was saying that because I was hoping to leave more for my mom, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to take out 10 for car, and that brings me down to 50. Let's take out 30 from my mom, which brings me to 20. We will skip secret stash. Throw that 20 towards savings because I have 2 savings challenges I'm trying to finish, which are debt payoff challenges. So it'd be nice to almost try to get those done in the next month so I can just take that money and make a debt snowball payment with them. All right, and then once we minus the 20, it's 0. Let me double check my numbers real quick and make sure everything is right. I will be right back. Hey guys, I am back. I did all the numbers, everything added up, and then I just went ahead and filled this out. And I was going through it and I'm like, okay, actually this was pretty productive. I didn't put a lot towards debt, but I think the $1,050 going towards emergency funds essentially, because there's, you know, a chunk towards rent and the rest towards my general one. It's pretty awesome. And I think at this point I built up almost, I'm actually curious to add up the rent fund, the emergency fund, and then the bills fund. because that's like an emergency fund for me. And see, between those three, what do I actually have? Because that's really the emergency fund kind of divided into three different parts. But I think at this point, you know, I would like to put the rent and bills into my high yield account with buckets. But I think I'm wondering if at this point between the three, if I don't have close to $1,500 saved up for emergency, which is pretty awesome. Everything comes down to zero. I didn't do as good as I wanted to do with my sinking funds themselves, but I have to keep reminding myself how much of that money went to emergency, you know, which is me taking care of my future self. So that's important. All right. So I feel a little better, although, yeah, I think it might be time to say, okay, let's stop throwing so much money towards emergency fund, other than, like I said, just pulling out money each paycheck just to have that little chunk in rent, because you have to pay rent every month. So you're going to lose that money. And let's start focusing more on debt, which needs a reboot so bad. Okay. I'm going to still break this up into week 1, week 2 food. So we have 180. So I'll do 2 50s and then we'll do 4 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80. Miscellaneous is getting a 20. So I'll do 2 10s. Bill is just a regular 20. Medical is 15. We'll do a 10 and a 5. Savings is 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Riley gets a 10. Car gets a 10. My mom gets 30. So we'll do a 20 and a 10. And then savings challenges gets 20. So I think I'll do a 10, a 5, and 5 ones. So yeah, that's 10, 20. So we should have 9 ones, 3 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10s, 6 20s, and 2 50s. When we add that up, we should get our total of 314. So as I did this, I just realized the reusable sheet I should make should be a sheet that I can write in my pay, my rollover, and my tax part to have my breakdown, and then like a little reusable thing on the side. So maybe I haven't made my denomination page yet, obviously. I'm so sorry, you guys. Yeah, there's been so much happening behind the scenes. But I think I kind of like figuring out my tax before I go on, because I feel like once I figure it out, it helps me just when I'm budgeting. So I think this would be nice to make this a reusable part of my overall budget tracker page for how I'm keeping track of what I'm doing. 50s is 100. I'm like, let's stop rambling. Oh, my batteries are low. Do you guys see this? Can I just tell you that I've had this Texas calculator since I had to take statistics as a prerequisite to the OT graduate program. I did that in 2011. So we're now in 2023 and my batteries are low. I'm kind of amazed it took that long. So that is a really long time. Okay, so 250s are 100. I have 120 and 20s, 70 and 10s, 15 and 5s, and 9 ones. So is that 314? Yes, it is. Okay. So 9 ones, 3 5s, 7 10s, 6 20s, and 2 50s. I need to go to the bank tomorrow to deposit my paycheck, because my paychecks, I used to deposit my paychecks. So this is kind of funny, something I never thought I'd experience in my life. My paychecks, I usually deposit my mobile app. You can deposit it through the app, but my last check that I got, and this check I'm sure because it's even bigger, because the paycheck on the first was $3,102, and I thought that was big. This paycheck just blew that paycheck out of the water. So they wouldn't let me, I had to go into the bank and deposit it because it was saying because of the amount that it was going to take 10 days to verify. And I was like, I can't wait 10 days. So I'm assuming that they're going to do the same. So I'm just basically going to have to get in the habit of going to deposit my check at the bank, because the bank said they'll override that. So I don't have to wait 10 days. And I have to do that. I have to let it clear, and then I can go back and get the cash. So it's a little bit of a longer process now, but it's worth it. Guys, I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Sunday. Well, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.